To roast a turkey, you need a nice deep roasting pan. And usually you'd want to fit this with a wire rack. But if you don't have a wire rack, you can just substitute vegetables. And what you do is take carrots, celery, and onions and make some large dice and put them on the bottom of the pan. This will act like a rack for the turkey. It'll also add some flavor to your turkey, which is kind of a nice benefit. Now, what we'll do is we'll take a fistful of thyme and some parsley stems, and we'll put that into the cavity of the turkey. Next, we're going to grab a stick of butter, and we're going to break some pieces off and put the butter into the cavity as well. As this butter melts and cooks with the turkey, the fat's going to get into the meat, making it a bit juicier. Now, if it's room temp butter, it will spread a little bit better. Mine was still a little bit cool. So what I'm going to do also is I'm going to take some butter and I'm going to run my finger on the back side here and get under the skin and put butter under the skin between the meat and the skin right on each side. And I'll kind of mash it down so that it spreads over the breast for the most part. And once you get both sides coated with butter and you still have a little bit left, to the best you can, try to rub some of the butter onto the breast of the turkey and the outside skin the best you can. Not pictured here is I've already removed the bag of gizzards, which is usually found in the neck cavity as well as the neck. So both cavities are empty at this time. I also have my oven preheated at 325 degrees. If your butter's giving you a hard time like mine was, you can always just pour oil over the top and then just rub the oil all around. It's similar to the butter, I just think butter's more delicious. So once you have your butter or oil rubbed all over the turkey, you're going to want to season it very heavily with salt and pepper. So I like to go heavy pepper here, and then I like to go fairly heavy salt. Because we're only seasoning the outside, we need to make sure we season it more than what we think we should do. Now you want to tuck the wings under the breast to keep the bird compact and to help cook it evenly. So once we have this bird all seasoned up and rubbed down in oil and butter, we're going to put it in our 325 degree oven, and I'm going to set a 30-minute timer. Now the bird's going to take a lot longer than 30 minutes, but every 30 minutes I like to take the bird out and I like to baste it with its juices. Now this turkey has been in for about an hour now, and what I'm doing is I'm finding the spot in the thigh and the leg where the thermometer goes in right near the bone. And since this has been for an hour, I like to see how far along I am. Now I'm at 120 degrees and I need to get to 165 degrees, and that 165 degrees needs to hold for 15 seconds. So what I'm doing here is basting the bird with the juices that come out from the cooking process. And I do this every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes my timer goes off and I baste the bird. And then what I'll do is I will check after the first hour, I check the temperature. Then again, I'll check the temperature on that next 30 minutes to see the progress. Eventually, I'll get up to 165 degrees. Usually it takes 3, sometimes 4 hours depending on your bird size. But again, every 30 minutes I'm basting that bird, so it's adding those juices back in, allowing it to be moist. And by cooking it at 325 degrees, you're cooking it at a lower temperature, and that lower temperature helps prevent that bird from getting dry. Also, that butter that we shoved under the skin, that helps as well. And once you get to that 165 degrees for 15 seconds, you want to take your bird out and you want to let it rest for 30 minutes. By letting it rest, the juices will get settled and it won't make a mess when you carve it. Now, to help with the cooking process, you'll also want to take your turkey out of the fridge and make sure it's completely defrosted. And by doing that, your cooking time will be cut down. If it's still frozen, the turkey's going to take longer and it's probably going to be dry. So make sure your turkey's defrosted and it's room temperature when you put it in the oven.